like on your left the podcast. This is I was just telling you, this is like the Glory Days episode with Johnny Manziel, where he has these legends on and they just talk about the good times. But Matt Mac's retirement episode.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
How long have you been in triathlon?
Oh man. So I was like originally started triathlon when I was 14. And have you ever heard of the Strawberry Fields Oxnard Triathlon in California? It's so small.
No.
They used to have like these USAT races where like the junior development races. And there was actually a junior development race going on the same weekend. So like Ben and Kevin McDowell and were racing, but I was in the open. And so
there was like a more serious division than the open division.
Yeah, but I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like my neighbor's like, hey, you want to go do a triathlon? Because I was on the cross country team in high school. So high school, I think it was freshman year. You're about 14. He's like, hey, look, we're gonna go do a triathlon this weekend, and it was between seasons, so I was like, sure, let's do it. So I started like doing a little bit of cross training and went down to Oxnard and had got a TT bike from a friend. And ended up getting second in the open division and like beat a guy with a pro card.
Oh, really?
Because I went like 15:30 off the bike for 5K. It just rolled.
Dude, hold on. First of all, there was always that one race, local triathlon growing up, where you look at the results and there would be some like 14 or 15-year-old going off on the run.
Yeah. Yeah. Some like cross country kid, right?
Yeah.
Super talented.
Yeah.
So like I started and the name I'm going to be name dropping probably a lot in this pod, but the Grego family, Robbie Grego, he was like a chief of fire in LA, I think. He was the one that like got me dialed in with like bikes and like told me how to train. And oh dude, how funny was this? We used to be like, so nutrition wasn't like a big thing back in the day, right?
No, it really wasn't.
I remember when he brought Cytomax. Do you remember that?
Oh, wow.
That
was one of the OGs. Yeah.
We were like introduced to Cytomax. And I remember like first time taking that on a ride, like a 3-hour ride. I was like, this stuff is insane.
You probably thought it was steroids.
Yeah. I was like, this is a PD.
It kind of is when you take calories in for the first time.
Yeah. So little things like that. And then I was like, I'm going to revisit this sport later in life, but I got to focus on running. So I kept running. But traditionally, like in high school, I was on the surf teams. 6 a.m. surf class.
That's wild. It was surf team.
Yes. I competed in like nationals, which is like every state, but obviously like not every state has surf teams. So like Hawaii, all of California, New Jersey, Florida, we'd have events at the end of our surf season. That was like nationals, and I would surf that. It was pretty cool.
Was there like different styles for areas? Like the Jersey guys have their own style of surfing versus West Coast people?
Yeah, I mean, it's like guys from Jersey who are really good. They'd spend a lot of time in like Hawaii, so they're pretty fine tuned. But you expect people who are on the East Coast to have like pretty like smaller waves, so they do better in like crappier waves.
Interesting.
So, anyways, yeah. So, then got back into triathlon. Didn't do triathlon until basically Lucas Versbickus, man. Remember that name?
No, I've never heard that name.
Shut up.
Yeah, Lucas
Versbickus.
No, never heard of that name.
How do you know?
I'm not an endurance guy,
dude. You're on your left. Okay,
but you're on
this guy. I mean, he's like one of the greatest high school runners ever.
I'm not gonna know that,
dude. He did triathlon, and he was like gonna make the Olympics and beat the Brownlees in London.
He's an American?
He's an American.
I have no idea.
Oh, dude, this guy ran. So in high school, he ran. I might be butchering this. I think he ran 8:17 for 2 miles, 2 full miles, not the 3,200.
Wow.
And he broke 4 in like rainy, windy conditions before super shoes. So he was in the USA Triathlon pipeline, and he was just dominating high school running. And then he like beat Jan in his first World Cup.
Really? What? So
yes.
This is like 2006. Like building up into Beijing, or is?
Well, no, not that far back.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Did I say London? It would be 2000. It was like when Jan was phasing out of ITU.
Oh, okay.
It was after that.
So like probably 11, 10, like one of those.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah.
Like 11.
Wow.
Or 12.
I'm surprised I never heard of this guy. Like no one's even talked about him to me.
Well, yeah, he broke his back.
Oh.
So he was in Garden of the Gods and he went off there's this left turn. He went over the railing, broke his back. It wasn't the same. And it's not like he's not in the triathlon scene anymore, but yeah, this guy he trained with Ben and Kevin in Chicago.
Dude, I gotta look this guy up.
Yeah,
I gotta do
savage.
like a dedication.
I think you should
drop.
like find him.
Yeah.
The interview, I don't know what he's like anymore, but like the guy had this massive ego.
He's probably really humbled now that like he's out of it, but
Hopefully, like I think he joined the military. Anyways, this guy in high school was the GOAT. He was like destroying every record. Like Chris Derrick is another name that he was like beating all his records. And so I went to nationals and I thought, okay, if the best like high school runner is a triathlete, I need to start training like a triathlete again. So then I started swimming and biking like consistently
in high school. Oh, wow.
Only to try to like simulate what I thought this guy was doing.
Yeah. So do you think the swimming from surfing helps? Because you see that a lot with like surfers are good swimmers or know how to feel the water. Like, did you feel like that, like that expedited your learning curve in the pool or no?
I think it expedited it, but I didn't start out good at all. Like you can see, maybe we can attach like some videos of me swimming. I was a terrible technical swimmer, but in terms of like open water and getting through surf and
not being overwhelmed,
yeah, and being in the water and being comfortable, that wasn't an issue for sure.
Yeah, interesting. You went to NAU, Northern Arizona University, on a track and cross country scholarship. What was it like being? Is it D1AA?
Division One.
Is Division One. What was it like, I guess, training D1 versus like high school mentality? Like, I guess your day to day, like what was your mindset going into NAU with a scholarship, knowing that it was attached to like a performance and like your athletic career?
Well, I think even before that, like I was recruited to kind of every top running school. I went to Oklahoma State first for 2 years. So I was living in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Wow. I didn't know that.
And I was like crazy depressed, injured a lot, like didn't vibe with Dave Smith, which, when you take an 18-year-old away from like California and move him to Oklahoma, I don't think I was in the right mindset, to be honest, like moving to somewhere so different, being away from home. It was just like a hard adjustment. I was around
culture shock and everything.
Totally.
Yeah.
So then I transferred to NAU. And
why NAU? Just because they like one of the few people that offered you a scholarship?
Yeah. They were one of the few. And then like Flagstaff had this like, it's like the professional running mecca. I still wanted to like be like, my goal was like, I need to be All-American. I need to be one of the best in the NCAA. I still want to run professionally. Like my goal was always like, I want to be a professional runner, do the marathon, make the Olympics.
Wow.
That was always on my mind. Since I started running at like 12 years old, I dreamed of that.
That's wild. Yeah, we are not the same.
Yeah. It's been on my mind like constantly that whole time. I would tell people I'm going to run pro and they look at me like on the team like, bro, you gotta break 14 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but I'm gonna. So yeah, went to NAU, moved to Flagstaff, and the culture there, you got like Ryan Hall, you got
forgot.
Yeah, they go Ryan Hall, dude, Abdi, Abdaman, now you got Mike Smith, Nike, like it was just like, it still is the mecca. It was the mecca of running. And then you move there from Oklahoma and it's like beautiful mountain town. Your like the expectation for the first 2 years was like, I'd go out to these workouts and get absolutely smoked by like 10 guys in a workout. And I'd be like all out. And the level was insane at OSU. Ended up getting injured and not like really competing. So at NAU, I went in there and I basically told my coach, I was like, hey, I'm not going to run over 70 miles a week. Because I couldn't stay healthy. And then I started cross training, doing triathlon training again.
You started cycling?
Yeah. And then went on to, win conference multiple times in cross country and track in the 5K, 10K. And at the time I was swimming like 5,000 meters every night because I had recruited Paulo Sousa. Not recruited. I had basically hired Paulo to coach me in this swim.
So you hired a swim coach while you were
triathlon coach.
So you hired a triathlon coach while you were still in college training for cross country
without my college coach even knowing.
That's wild. Do you feel like that kept like your edge, like kept your interest, motivation, was developing another aspect of your endurance ability outside of running? Like, I guess what kept you training for triathlon? Did you see immediate benefit in your running?
Yeah. One, I was able to stay healthy because I didn't have to do that much mileage, but I could do all this volume.
Gotcha.
That was the biggest thing. I'd show up to workouts a little more tired, but still had it. Like, my mindset was, if I can run workouts to say I'm in an all-American shape or a top 10 at NCAA cross country, then I'm in shape to do it. What's a number each week that's going to determine whether I'm in shape?
Yeah. It's really, there isn't. 70 miles. So were you guys running like 100 miles a week?
Most of the guys were 100, 120. Yeah.
That's wild.
At 7,000 feet. Like,
you just showed up. You're like, no, this is what I'm going to do because I know my body and this is how I can respond. And
yeah. And a lot of the guys I would kind of hint and like tell them, like, yeah, I swam 3 miles last night, and the last month I've swam like 3 miles every night.
You're like sneaking out to the cupboard to get snacks at night, but your snack was 3K in the pool.
I never swam 3K. I swam 5K. It was like
at 7,000 feet.
The saying was 5K a day keeps the slow away.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I feel like that's still valid. That still plays.
It still is.
Yeah, it still plays.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of training hubs throughout your career, you've jumped around, you took a lot of moves throughout your career, right? I would say. How many big moves would you say you've done throughout your triathlon career post collegiate?
Yeah. So Flagstaff, Eric Hines was my coach there. Shout out to Eric Hines. And then as Paulo was coaching me, he gave me an opportunity to come down. Like, Paulo took a huge shot at, I wasn't paying him because I had no money. I had like $600 in my account. He said, come down to Poway.
This is after college?
Yeah. Went to Poway.
Where is Poway?
I think we should talk about Poway because, like,
where is Poway?
Poway, San Diego. It's like inland San Diego.
No idea. Okay.
Oh yeah. Morgan Pearson's girlfriend is from Poway.
Okay.
This small little town.
That was supposed to connect the dots for me.
No. I'm just saying, it's just like a.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like, I was supposed to be like, oh, okay.
It was good for training. I think it's gotten a little busier. So, like, moved from Flagstaff to San Diego. Lived in it was called the Squad House, and I had $600 in my account. I was like, okay, I want you to run professionally to make money at road racing. We'll swim 40K a week, and you're gonna just like 40K a week every week.
Wow.
For 2 years straight. We took 1 day off. So we'd swim twice a day, 2 to 3 times a week. I was running about 30 miles a week and still I'd go run like 105 and a half, some hilly half in San Diego, and make like $1,000, finish second or third. We go to like Carlsbad, 5,000, third American, make like $1,000. And like, back then, like, it's
kind of more money than triathlon.
I mean,
if you do for an hour per pay.
Yeah, for sure. So like, I was still doing this like pro running thing to make like ends meet.
Yeah.
So I'd make average like, I don't know, like $1,000 a month to like get by and pay for groceries.
And at 20, how old are you? Like 22, 23 at the time?
Yeah, like 22, 23.
Yeah, that's enough. Like, you're living fine.
And like I said, I didn't have to pay for coaching. He was like, you're going to get on the national team within the next year if you continue this progression. So like, you'll pay me back, because the national team funding pays for the coach.
Gotcha. Yep.
Based on the what level you're at, and then you get a stipend, and that's honestly what was able to like pay for my life for like 8 years was USA Triathlon funding.
Oh, so you're saying you're going to get on the triathlon national team, not the running team?
No.
Okay.
No.
So okay.
But from Poway we went to Boulder, and then from Boulder we went to Flagstaff, and then Flagstaff we ended up in St. George. So kind of jumped all over the place, I think. But the most memorable and impactful place that we trained was Poway, because those early days it was like Joe Malloy, Greg Billington, Summer Cook, Trevor Heather Wertel, did I say Greg Billington? I lived with Greg for like a year. Eric Lagerstrom, lived with Eric.
Man, that was like all when social media was starting to pop too.
Yeah.
Like, was that because they were building up for Rio?
They
right?
all, so Greg, Joe, Eric, man, Eric didn't make it. Ben made it. Manny Huerta was my roommate, and these guys were like mentors to me, dude. Because I think that was what really was able to take my career from like a terrible swimmer, great runner, to like being on the national team within a year. Right?
Was living with those guys
and asking them every day, like, and I have to like give them a lot of credit because they answered all the questions that I had about what it's like how do I get better at swimming? What are you doing with your body in the water? What are you thinking about?
Greg's like 10 years older than you at that time. He has to be, right? He was probably close to 30.
6.
Okay.
Joe was 30.
Okay. Joe's older than Greg. Didn't know.
Yeah, Joe's old and Greg's
well.
wild, dude. Guy lived with Greg and he just stayed in his altitude tent like the whole day. And that was wild.
When you say that, I picture like the movie Bubble Boy, where like the mom comes in and like puts the food through like the chamber, the decompression chamber.
That literally happened. Before I moved there, his parents lived with him and they like fed him with a spoon through the tent. No, I'm just kidding. Greg was like probably the most intense person in the training group. Him and Joe would just like before the Olympics would just get into it. It was like the funniest thing to watch, dude. But like
superstitious stuff too.
Just every day a little like touching at the wall, like little things, like little jabs. But Greg is just this like intense person. He's like completely changed being out of the sport. He's like super mellow now. And him and Joe have a great relationship. But at the time it was just like that relationship there was just as crazy as me and Eli Hemming.
Oh, really? I guess we can talk about that later.
Yeah, but me and Eli, like we trained together. We were trying to qualify for Tokyo, and we just had like two totally different personalities. And I came into his group with Ian, and like, yeah, it's really hard when you're trying to qualify for 1 or 2 spots for the Olympics, and you're training with one of the guys.
I can't imagine. Like
it's really tough. And like USA Triathlon wants to say like, oh yeah, like, hey guys, this is a team sport. We want to
know.
It's like, dude, no, this is completely individual.
Yeah.
It's you versus everyone else. There's no team. Even though the relay came in, it's just cutthroat, dude.
100%. I can't imagine not thinking like that, because at the end of the day, if somebody else gets the nod, they're not coming to you like, yeah, we get to go. It's like, no, you get to go. It's not a we thing. Yeah, that's weird that they would like phrase USAT like that, because if you want to spark like the most competition, you peg each other against each other. You peg them against each other. I don't know, but that's how I would see it. But you spent a significant time ITU circuit, draft legal, Olympic distance, obviously a few sprints in that league. How did that Olympic distance, I guess, the draft legal like format, I guess, challenge you as an athlete? Like there's a whole strategy racing ITU, right? Mm-hmm. Like everybody knows, like you all out on the swim to catch the bike pack and then don't get dropped so you can catch the run pack, and then basically just went on the run, right? Like we never see someone in the second run pack run through to the first run. Am I right?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
It's very rare.
But it did happen at one point.
There was like those years of Murray and Mola running through.
That's true.
But it had to be a day where the Brownlees didn't show up.
Yeah. Do you think do you think that pipeline sets up a better middle to long distance athlete, is like developing your triathlon IQ and your handling in the short course? Like how much value did you feel like you pulled out of basically like developing that format, perfecting that format into middle to long distance? Yeah.
So I would say like I didn't do long distance for very long. Would you agree with that? Yeah. I only got a couple races, had some success, a couple podiums. I would say a lot of it's dependent on person to person. I mean, you look at the Norwegians; they're the greatest and they're doing awesome. But for one thing that I will say, you take someone with like a body type like mine. I'm a runner. Mm-hmm. I was just looking at photos from Ironman Arizona this last weekend, and dude, like on a flat course, I'm just like getting bodied. Like I am so much skinnier. Even though you look at Colin Schultz, you're like, he's got way more weight.
Yeah, he's
And when it comes to like Trevor Foley and Sam, like these guys,
when you don't realize, so you're up close and you're like, dude, you got a lot of muscle mass for a skinny guy.
Yeah. So looking at photos, I was just like, dude, like I benefited with my body type to be an ITU because like through the pace line with all these skinny runners, it doesn't matter as much. You're not like in the 12-meter draft pushing on a flat course. It's very technical and you're racing. I don't feel like long course there's as much racing involved, at least from like the North American side. I'm not going to say world champs. That's a total race.
Which is great because it's totally changing the spectators' perspective on the sport. Like just seeing these even just the Ironman World Championships, like we saw a race at a World Championship long distance triathlon for the first time like in a while. Like, we used to only see that type of racing in short course.
Yeah.
That's
so it's changed. I don't think like Morgan's a good example. He's doing well. Like, he's doing solid at T100. Him in a full Ironman. Not right now.
Yeah.
I don't think he would do well.
It's interesting. Do you think Matt Hauser's kind of an anomaly or do you think he's just...
I think he's big though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You think he's an anomaly?
Thicker. I think he's going to go to long course and do well.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you take Tyler Mislachuk, no offense, Tyler, love you, brother.
But he's a broad guy. Like his shoulders.
No, he's skinny and small.
He's broad, I'm saying. Like,
yeah. But he would get smoked by these on a flat course by Sam Long.
To your point, he's a guy that could transition to the T100, but even still, a Rico Bogan next to a Tyler?
No, he wouldn't transition well to T100. If you prove me wrong, Tyler, awesome. I'm stoked for you. But Tyler could go to T100 and finish 7th through 10th.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about podium consistently.
Yeah, and Tyler's going for another cycle, right?
I think so.
Because he's only like I looked this up 31. The other day. He's like, he's still kind of young. He can.
Yeah, for the ITU circuit, 31 is not young. Well, everyone looks at him like the old guy.
Yeah, well, I meant like to me, like because in next Olympics he's gonna be my age right now. So clearly if he's not going for 2, but the next one,
this is gonna be his
5th.
No. It would be his 4th.
Rio, Tokyo, Paris. You're right.
Yep.
4th. Yeah, which is wild. All right, so let's pull back a little. I want to hear because you trained in Boulder and Flagstaff and San Diego. I guess you can argue those are the 3 biggest hubs of training in America for triathlon. What's the biggest difference in the culture in all 3 of those hubs? I mean, you can't even call San Diego a hub right now because there's really no elites training there. But
the culture in San Diego was solid. Paulo created an environment. Not that his demeanor or his personality is very charismatic. Like he's very cut and dry. So his was more like, hey, let's create this culture of showing up every day and getting shit done. Chop wood, carry water. That was his favorite saying. But like on a personal level, could I come to him? I would never come to Paulo about like shit that was going on in my life, like through relationships or anything. He might have good little nuggets, but he was a very good, he coordinated a very good training environment where he got great athletes. He showed up every day. He gave you real-time coaching. So like, hey, Matt, work on this in your catch.
Love that.
Like he coached. Outside of that, it was very like, there wasn't a huge relationship.
You weren't getting an emotional.
Yeah. Like, and response. So like that environment from a training standpoint was great, but there's, when you go through as an athlete and you're growing up and getting older, maybe it wasn't the best. And this is my experience. This isn't like, Taylor Spivey trains with him and like, this is like, it can be completely different.
Yeah.
Whereas like, Ian O'Brien and Boulder, me and him were like best friends. Like we got along super well. He created an environment with a lot of great athletes, showed up, did a lot of hands-on coaching. Boulder we ended up leaving Boulder because we hated it. I got punched.
Oh wow, you hated
COVID.
Boulder.
Yeah, during COVID I got punched. I was running with Marty Andry and like this lady, we were running without a mask just after the COVID mandate ended. He got punched in the head. I got punched in the chest by like a total Karen.
Stop.
And then she called the cops. The cops showed up. Yeah, the cops showed up and the cops basically said, hey, I can give you a ticket for public decency. I think that was the ticket. Or you guys can all apologize and keep going. I didn't have time.
Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah, I didn't have time.
The cop was probably like more mad that he was there than actually at you guys.
Yeah.
Like he was mad at the lady or whatever.
Yeah. And so I apologized because we had a flight to go to Phoenix to do a training camp. I apologize. It's like, just, we got to get out of here and pack our bags. I'm like, hey, ma'am, I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to go get my mask on. And she just ripped into me. You're the reason that millions of people are dying right now because you're not running on this trail with a mask. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to go get my mask and I'm going to come back like and finish my workout. I'm so sorry. And we left. Anyways, I got home and I told my wife, Lindsay, I was like, we're leaving.
That's demonstrative of the whole microcosm.
I don't need to explain anything else, but that was the final straw.
I think we read between the lines on that one. I mean, Boulder's cool, but it's like triathlon. Triathlon's great, but the people in triathlon. It's like Boulder's great, but the people in Boulder.
Yeah, and the Boulder community of triathletes are great.
Yeah. But the people
like
in
Rudy's
Boulder.
Great. Trevor, when he lived there, like everyone's super cool.
But it's the people that drive the rent out that have the corporate jobs.
And at the time COVID, right? Like everyone from like New York and like California that were like, I want to be more outdoorsy.
Those New Yorkers, man.
They came in and they just like, they brought some personality and I didn't vibe with it.
That's so funny. She's actually really cool. Olivia, I want to say her name is. She moved to Boulder during COVID from Manhattan, but she was cool. She was one of the cool ones.
Yeah. There's some great, so there's some great people in Boulder, like Tin Man Elite, Drew Hunter, like all those guys. All the runners are really cool. And
just going to the pool deck and just seeing like Floor Duffy and just like, studs. Like, and then you got people like Elliot Bach who's getting 3 workouts in before noon.
All those people like vibe with super well. Yeah. Like Flora get along with, like Elliot. Sam when Sam was there, like, oh dude, everyone was super friendly. Matt Hansen. Yeah, Aaron Carson out of Rally Sport. Rest in peace, Rally Sport.
Did you ever go to the Scratch Lab?
No.
Everyone just always mentions that when they talk about Boulder. Yeah. All right, let's go into the USAT. So your role with USAT for Paris and Tokyo, you saw the sport from literally very few people could say that they were in that environment fighting for a spot. So how did that, I guess, because it's a business, there's people's jobs relying on, I guess, in a sense, on the performance of USA Triathlon in the Olympics, because they have to pick the people, and they are somebody's going to be held accountable with all of that. So through your experience with the admin and the strategic experience, what's your perspective on that whole high performance microcosm of USAT and their relationship with the athletes?
So I think with USAT, we should go back to like how I even got into the national team. And then I can describe a little bit more about like the politics and then like Olympic selection, these people, right, that have jobs.
Paint the picture.
Yeah. So I think when I was running in college, Tommy Rivers, do you know that name?
The guy who, the influencer
who almost died.
Yeah.
In the Grand Canyon.
Ribs, right?
Ribs, yeah. I'm glad you know him. Okay. Tommy was like a Flagstaff character. Still is to this day. But he was at the pool. He was an Ironman athlete. He was an age grouper, solid age grouper. And I would see him every day. We became good friends. And I went on a run with him in Sedona. He was telling me about USA Triathlon. Crazy, right? Like this trail runner, like famous trail runner is like, dude, like Chad Hall and all these athletes are getting paid to make the transition from running to triathlon. And they're getting paid. So you have to hit this standard and criteria. At the time, it was called the CRP program, which is the college recruitment program.
And this is kind of what Gwen got adopted into as well?
Gwen, Kirsten Casper.
Gotcha.
I was kind of like going through that process. Morgan a little bit. It was kind of fading out when like Morgan started. Renee Tomlin, Robbie Webster was in that program. Walter Schaefer, the list goes on.
Walter Schaefer, wow.
Yeah.
You're throwing out names now.
Yeah, we're really name dropping. I apologize because I don't like when people name drop, but this is the podcast to do it. So Tommy's on this run and I'm like, whoa, I can get like my life paid for and like I'll get a coach to like develop me.
Yeah.
I'm all about
fit.
it. Yeah. Just to like try triathlon. Reached out to them, got recruited, and that was kind of like my first introduction with like USAT, and that was a great program. Now it's Project Podium, run by Parker Spencer, which I think they're doing a great job. Like, but before that, it was the CRP. Then fast forward to Paulo, I decided not to do the CRP because I was like, I don't want to be in this training environment that isn't producing Olympians on the men's side. Women, they had it taken care of. Gwen,
God, that's wild.
Kirsten,
you had that awareness. I'd be happy with anything.
Right? But like they were going to offer me like housing, travel, all this stuff. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm going to take my $600, go down to Poway and trust this guy, Paulo. Because Paulo had Joe, Greg, and Eric.
I'm picturing just a guy in a room with like a sound bowl, like summoning triathletes through vibration in the earth. Because like, how do you get that many guys that I'm guessing half those guys, Joe, Greg, they all could have been on the CRP program as well.
They did. Yeah, and they opted out of it.
That's wild. That this guy.
Actually, I think those like Joe and Eric didn't get the opportunity, but then they like surpassed it by getting results.
Yeah,
and did it on their own dime. Like Eric was working at a bike shop to pay for like
that should be a documentary.
Cup. Dude, the stories of Jason Peterson, Joe Malloy, Eric are unreal.
Jason Peterson's another name. Yeah. Wow.
And Jason ran at NAU. How they became guys who were top 10, top 5, top 20 at WTS racing is insane. Like living on air mattresses where like Eric had a hole in his air mattress. He's like pumping it up in the middle of the night because he's so broke. He can't afford a mattress.
Dude, that's where the next documentary needs to come out of. Someone needs to get to a training DTE and just create a documentary.
About Pow, it was the most grassroots program. It was so sick. It's just like this squad house we lived in had like spider webs in each corner. And I'd like swipe them up and then we'd come back overnight. And there was like ants crawling around on us at night. It was the most ghetto house, no AC, no, like it was awesome.
Oh man.
It was like a fraternity house, just like holes in the wall. Like,
and it's a high performance fraternity.
Yeah. Yeah. So, back to USAT, I decided to opt out of the CRP, went with Paulo, then qualified by getting a World Cup podium, my first World Cup podium, which happened a year after I graduated.
Is that where this came from?
No, that came later.
Okay, all right, we'll get into that.
All right. That came later when I went on my World Cup streak.
Okay.
My first World Cup podium, I want to say, was in 2016 or 2017.
Okay.
Summer. It was at Salinas, Ecuador. Mm-hmm. I beat Leo Berger.
Wow.
I beat Mexico. What's his name? Grajales, but I got second. I got out kicked by this Spanish guy. What's your name? I forgot his name off the top of my head.
Sarza?
No, not Sarzila. No, he's Italian.
Salza? Am I getting the name
I'm
wrong?
blanking on his name. I'll come up later. And then so qualified. After even before that though, I went to like Sarasota's and what's the other Florida race? Claremont are kind of like the pinnacle. Yeah. I got second or third to Ben, and then they started paying for my flights to World Cups. So wow. I still wasn't on funny. So Andy Schmidt at the time was like, "Hey, we'll pay for your travel, and then we'll give Paulo a stipend for coaching to help you out." And then went on to like first World Cup, I got 15th. The next World Cup got a podium.
So you were chasing points because you saw the Olympic potential. So you were like, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and this is like when all those guys that I was training with phased out. Mm. They all retired.
And this is when I started actually following you, I think. It was like 17, 18. Yeah, it was around that time. Because that's at that time who was like who was like the big swinging dick in town. Okay. Was Morgan Morgan was just starting?
Wasn't even there yet for like 1 or 2 years.
No.
And then fast forward, right? I'm the top American in Olympic points. I have the most World Cup podiums. I had 12 at the end of my career, but I had a ton of World Cup podiums. I kept being on the national team, kept getting funding, did the relay, got silver in the relay world championships. I was the guy before Morgan showed up.
Yeah, you were the number one guy projected into Tokyo for sure. And that brings us to basically like you were a casualty of COVID in that sense, because timing is everything in short course. I feel like
when you're hot, you're hot.
Dude. Like I always say, Katie Zaferis would have won Tokyo if it happened in 2020, but that extra year, it completely flipped everything on its head.
Mm-hmm. And then, we hit COVID, and it was, things became very political. I started getting injured more frequently after 2019 during COVID. A lot of that has to do with just like not training as smart. And so like then the Olympics happen, they have their selection board. It's discretionary. At the time, who went to Tokyo off the top of my head? It was Morgan and Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Morgan had, I forgot if Morgan auto qualified. He might have.
He auto qualified from a win.
Yeah, he auto qualified, and then the second spot was discretionary, and they picked Kevin. My heart's broken. I'm left there, and I'm like, this is political BS. I'm mad at USAT initially.
Did you voice it immediately, or was it all internalized?
It was all internalized.
Because you had plans on going to Paris.
I mean, everyone told me I was going. Like, imagine like your coach, all the people in your corner, all the people that think they know are telling you you're going, and then
because the math is mathing.
Yeah. And then the phone call is, hey, we picked Kevin, you're not going. And this is super important to talk about, because I don't have anything against Kevin or USAT, because USAT has a board that they put together from the USOPC, and things become political, and they choose the spot based on the relay. I had a couple off.
It was the first year for the relay.
Yeah. And they ended up getting silver and doing super well. They made the right decision.
Which makes it harder for you to complain after the fact. Because if they don't get that silver, then the door's always open.
Yeah. I think they made the right decision. At the end of the day, like you can't complain against a silver medal.
We're not talking about Kevin. If you raced, do they still get a silver? Does USAT?
I'm going to say yes, of course, every time. Like, no, we would have gotten last. And so I got to go to Tokyo as an alternate. We went and we were like, me and Seth were in lockdown in this hotel just outside. And I actually got to go like to some of the venues. I got to see a bunch of athletes. It was pretty, like, that was cool.
Just even as a fan being there, probably.
Yeah.
Did you get to go to any track and field events?
No, because it was all COVID.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh shit.
There's no spectators.
Well, I mean, that's the silver lining, right? Your Olympic experience, even if you did get to go, wouldn't have been what it is.
Yeah.
If you do want to look for one.
Yeah, and then the same thing happened at Paris. Like, I was the top Olympic ranked. I had Pan American silver individually and Pan American silver in the relay. Bunch of World Cup podiums, and they picked Seth. So I felt like I got hosed twice.
And that was the Spivey year as well.
Yeah, but then they get second again. So you really cannot say a ton about, like,
I know.
After the fact, it's like, hey, they got 2 silvers. I can't really argue with that.
It was some of the most controversial couple days in the sport. I mean, people were melting, especially the second at Paris, because that you added Spivey to the casualty list. You had somebody who was on the Olympic team gets knocked down, and clearly was probably the fastest. Like, I still think Spivey would have outperformed a lot of every U.S. woman on that start list that we put into Paris. Sorry to side rail to Spivey.
No. I mean,
but I think it's demonstrative of, like, your experiences. You weren't the only athlete to get shafted.
Yeah, and it's like that. My whole Olympic experience, in my opinion, was ruined by, first of all, not going, but just the sheer fact that a group of people can choose whether you go or not. It's not based on
performance.
Yeah. Like that. The reason I got into sport isn't to get sponsors, isn't for a group of people to determine whether you fail or succeed. It was who is the first one across the finish line. That's like to me, that is the competitive nature of things. And that's why track and field is great. Top 3 go. And
I feel like that's, you set the standard and you leave no room for controversy if you just go performance based.
And a lot of people will say you should have auto qualified. Yeah, I should have, would have, could have.
Yeah, that's like one of the hardest ways. That's the hardest way to do it.
Yeah,
is to auto qualify.
Well, I guess at the end of the day, it's the easiest.
Yes. Okay. If you want to look at it like that. Yeah. But I mean, with auto qualifying, if I'm not mistaken, it's not like how much points you reach a threshold and then you auto qualify. It's certain races are auto qualifiers, right? Is that how it would work?
There was 2 or 3 auto qualifying races.
That's tough, dude. Especially in short course, where like, dude, it's tough to win one, but to win the one is probably the toughest ass. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's the easiest for sure.
Yeah, it's tough. So my relationship with USAT, I kept it very professional during that whole time. At least I felt like I kept it professional. I didn't lash out at anyone. I continued to show up and race.
That's very surprising because I would have fucking burned the house down.
Yeah, I didn't make a social media post saying they made the wrong decision. I didn't come out on a podcast and rip them a new one. Because, like, again, they did awesome. They got the result they wanted. At the end of the day, USA Triathlon, that everyone who works there kept their job, you know.
Of course.
They got medals. And at the end of the day, when you're working at USAT and the USOPC, all that matters is medal count.
Did you feel like anybody understood the pain that you were going through? And did anybody from USAT reach out with like a heartfelt, genuine, like, we're sorry?
No, not at all.
That's fucking wild.
I will say my coaches at the time, Ian's heart was broken.
Yeah.
My heart was broken. I really struggled for a couple
to
days.
Get back into just the sport and
just
purpose.
Emotionally. My heart hurt so bad. I had chest pain.
You had that like frog in your throat type of deal?
It was deeper.
Oh shit.
It was chest. It was like this. It's like I had a mini heart attack.
Dude, that's so sad.
I was like, I didn't cry. Like I cried like initially for maybe like a couple minutes, but I had this like deep ache and I was just walking around with it like in my stomach. I was like, dude, I can't get rid of this.
Yeah, dude, that's so deep and physical. Like just committing that much of your life to something and knowing like it wasn't your choice and it was just some people's like opinion at the end of the day because it wasn't performance based. I mean, that's like, it makes you almost question like, damn, I wish like I was able to like talk to these people, or if there was like some kind of the process where there was like a human connection, but at the end of the day, like they just picked you from just a sheet of paper, essentially.
A group of people.
Yeah, a group of people who you never met.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you might have met one or two of them, but oh man, that's tough.
So my relationship with USAT is fine now. Like everyone from like Andy, the high performance director who started, John Farah, to Scott, who's there right now. Courtney was great. Courtney booked all our flights, and Courtney. They were Courtney Kulik. I mean, these people, like, I think they genuinely tried to do their best. From being an athlete, it always, I don't think it was ever enough, because like when your livelihood is dictated by like their decisions and they're not going to be perfect. Like you can't expect people to make perfect decisions and know the sport in and out the way that an athlete would, because we're showing up every day, giving our heart and soul. We're putting in the 30-hour weeks. At the time, like Paris, I had my son, I'm married, and like, it's just, it's hard to talk about, because when it comes to finances, like I lost a ton of money, but I guess like I said, like I'd been thinking about going to the Olympics since I was 14 years old, 12 years old.
Yeah. In running or triathlon.
It didn't matter. I was just like, I'm going to get there.
Yeah. No, that's something that I definitely can't relate to, because I've never had a dream for more than like 5 years. You know what I mean? I never had that type of goals as a young kid, so do you think that any lesson that you learned from that scenario, what was like the most benefit that you pulled out? Like, what was the most positive thing you pulled out of going through that time of trials and tribulations?
That's a good question. Well, I think like after Tokyo, I had already decided, like, getting punched on a trail. I was like, we're out of here. We're out of Boulder. Let's get out of Boulder.
You don't get picked for Tokyo and you get punched.
Yeah, I was like, so Lindsay, my wife, filled up the U-Haul, and we moved to Flag. I was like, let's move to Flagstaff. What Flag did, the importance of me moving to Flag was like, I want to go move somewhere that like really started and transcended my career as a triathlete.
Oh, so you did it for a perspective change and vibe change.
And it was not a high performance decision, because Flagstaff it's great for training. It seems like it's like for a triathlete, it's perfect. But being at 7,000 feet year round probably isn't the best for short course in terms of speed and and just being explosive. On the other hand, the travel from Flagstaff, every time I would race in the WTS circuit, it was 30 hours.
Yeah.
So I was cooked going to races, trying to qualify for Paris, and it had a negative effect. But in terms of the day-to-day process, and shout out to like Mike and Jared, the NAU coaches, they I don't know if they let me, but they allowed me to show up and work out with NAU.
That's really funny.
So I started like every Tuesday I'd come and do threshold with NAU and I would like wear an NAU shirt. They gave me like a shirt and I like just wore the
blended in.
Yeah, blended in. And I like, my goal is like, okay, NAU has such a good culture. They have been dominant. They won 7 of the 8 national championships. Like I can't change this culture.
Yeah.
Like what they have going on, I'm just going to blend in, be one of the guys.
And they
be
accepted
positive.
you? The athletes?
Dude, like all the athletes like Drew, Aaron Los Harris, Theo Quacks, Eric LaRoe, Justin Keys, Zach, dude, the list goes on. I'm forget Kale, Kang. All these guys were like so fired up, and I'm like 32 years old working out with a bunch of college kids, but they loved it. They thought it was. I think they thought it was sick.
Did you inspire any of them to get into triathlon?
I told them all not to do it. I was like, do not do triathlon. And no, a couple people actually started showing up to the pool, like trying to swim. I got Luis Grajales. He's a pro runner for Hoka.
Yeah.
He ran any. He was like showing up when he was injured, like swimming a lot. So there were some people I was like, hey, don't like try triathlon. Listen to Mike, listen to your coaches. Because I was in a place where like, I really didn't want to like burn bridges with NAU.
Gotcha. Yeah, you didn't want to.
I was like reliving my past.
Yeah.
Maybe that was
a full circle moment.
Yeah,
though.
It was. I don't know. It made me feel really welcomed, and the running community. Like I'd go on runs every day with pro runners. Like,
well, I think also you probably found comfort in that you just went through probably the most dramatic experience in your athletic career. So it was probably like a rebirth in a sense where you're starting again. And I mean, yeah, like you just said, there's pro runners there, there's pro triathletes there. And
I think, and I kind of was like, I guess, Simon Whitfield had come to Flagstaff and did training camps, and we had come up to do training camps when I was in Poway.
Norwegians would go.
Norwegians came a bunch, KB and Gustav, but I was the first one to live there. And then it was like Tyler Mislechuk showed up. He was my neighbor. And then Mike showed up. And then Blanks happened, which is taking off. So like all these triathletes started like kind of moving there. I would say I was the beacon of that. And who knows, we might end up back there down the line.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great small little town. All right. So later in your career, you made the shift to long course 70.3 natural progression. And it was at a time where, it's 70.3 was kind of taken off, right? Like the Ironman brand and like the personalities, I guess you could say, in Ironman racing were really like taking off in triathlon. Did you ever feel, I guess my question is, did you naturally want to get into 70.3 or did you see it as like a great opportunity, as like a next career move because of all these new personalities? You see the short course guys, the success that you saw KB and the Norwegians. Did you want to get into 70.3 racing, I guess is the question?
I did. Yeah. And I think at the time too, like when I 2 years ago, when I like after Paris, again, I needed something new. I needed to move on. And I was like, okay, I want to do Kona. I want to do the full Ironman.
I didn't think you would. I thought you would go to running when all that happened. I was like, he's going to turn his back on triathlon after that.
Maybe I should have, but you saw like a lot of people like doing really well, following like the money and the sponsors. And I was like, I can get into this. Like, Norwegians and everyone who's transitioning is doing super well. At the time when I was racing, they had like 17 World Cups a season. They had cut that down to like 8 or 9.
Wow.
So all of a sudden it was like there was like less opportunity to race short course, and all these North American like 70.3s still were going on. It made total sense to like me be a dad, getting a bit older, stay domestic, not maybe do one international trip, and like be home with my family, still enjoying the sport.
So
like the personality, yes, like my generation moved up, and now you see a result of that. Yella, KB, like the top 15
that's what I was going to say.
in Marbella.
You look at races 19 and even 21, there wasn't many in 2020 to reference, and 18 for that matter, you could bike and run your way to the first place. You can't do that anymore.
No.
In the sport. And that's why Sam Long and Lionel, like, timing is everything. That whole your generation that moved in completely shifted the sport of middle distance, because you basically took ITU racing and took it to 70.3.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wish I could say that I like had a huge impact on that. But to be honest, like, I've been plagued with a ton of injuries in the last 2 years. Ones that, like, injuries that have just like left me out for months from racing. And I wish I could be more consistent. But yeah, just like the shift in short course to long course has been pretty eye-opening for everyone.
Yeah. And I think that's also the calling sign to maybe put a cap on your career. And we've seen it in everybody. Like, Jan couldn't stay healthy. If you can't stay healthy, then it's hard to stay in.
Yeah.
Because what are you doing then?
Yeah. And I think I've had a lot of time to think about it. Like, this last injury, I talked about it enough, stress fracture in my femur. You know, that's a huge injury to recover from.
Yeah.
And people think, oh, going into full Ironman's crazy. Give me enough time to, like, really think about retirement and jobs and, like, what I want to do next. I think what ultimately, like, you know, I think with, like, the amount of biking that it takes to do long course, I really just got super tight. It was changing my run mechanics, and I got injured because of run mechanics and under fueling. So it's like two different things that I think affected me. And going forward, I just, you know, I'd like to have another kid next year. I'd like to have 2 kids. And, I just, like, I think I'm ready for that next step. I just need to be realistic. I can't keep holding on to the dream thinking, like, oh, just one more. It's, and to be honest, there's another part of me that North American racing isn't this thing that's like these 70.3s they're cool and they're relaxed, and the vibe is, we always say the vibe is so chill at 70.3s versus a WTS. WTS, you have 50 to 60 guys that can swim so fast, like Division I swimmers. And you go to these long course races and there's some terrible swimmers.
I was one of them.
No disrespect, but it doesn't matter as much. So, like, I feel like ITU has the complete athlete.
Sorry, you mean there's less at stake? Or you mean the swim doesn't matter as much?
It's just like the level of racing. How many guys, when you go to a North American race, have dedicated their entire life to triathlon?
The top 3.
That don't have a job, that literally can afford to just, like, be all in every day.
Yeah. Honestly, if there's a list of 60 men, probably like 3 or 4.
3 or 4. So when you go to an ITU race, everyone's on the national team funding. When you go to
stakes
WTS,
are higher.
Yes. Almost everyone's on Olympics. Everyone grew up doing triathlon. Me, Morgan, are anomalies.
Yeah.
We
crashed the party.
We crashed the party. There's no one that came from, Morgan at least swam. No one's been on a WTS podium like me that was a non-swimmer growing up. That is never, I don't want to say it's never existed, but at least
somebody can fact check it.
Yeah. So that's my 2 cents.
I'm just thinking with the whole, the 70.3, and, you know, it was funny. Do you think, I guess Martin Van Riel had the story. He's like, I knew I should have went to long course when he came out here to do, to watch 70.3 Worlds, and people were going up to Blake saying hi to Blake. And Martin Van Riel was right next to him, and, like, not many people were saying hi to him. And he was, like, looking at Blake, and he's like, damn, it's like, I should get in the long course because this guy's getting more attention than me. Do you think the sport in general, when it comes to audience and building, like, a following and the business side of the sport, is more lucrative in middle and long distance for a short course? Or do you think it just is athlete dependent?
I think it's changing a lot. I think there's a problem right now with North American development.
Yeah, I guess that's the point. Like, do you think short course is hindered by the lack of exposure and earning potential and might discourage future people of trying to go for that? Or do you think the Olympic dream is still always alive and well?
No, I think both a long course and short course are in a tough situation, right? With development. And with, sorry, my nose is a little clogged. Still have a bit of a sinus infection that I'm getting over from Arizona. But I think that, okay, it's either Project Podium with short course. You have to go to that program If you don't get accepted for some reason, or you don't hit their standards, there's no Olympic dream. With long course, who do you have to look at right now to like be in that development? Like Ari Clow. So you have to run a YouTube video. You have to run a YouTube series to get the sponsors, to get the funding, to even be on the start list, to be all in, to not have a job. Yep. Colin Schultz, I don't know his situation. He's kind of like next young guy in line. Maybe he has his parents like supporting him. And I know he's got sponsors now, but to even get to where Colin's at, dude, like the bike and being dialed in and the wind tunnel and all these things. I started triathlon with $600. Like how do you make it without being a total influencer?
Coming in from money.
Or
coming
from money and running or swimming is very like grassroots. And like you need a pair of shoes and a Speedo. And
no D1 program for men's.
And
that's the other thing that could be hindering the development. But so do you think the days of like just doing it on your own, going to a training group, a DTE, are kind of done? Like you really got to be in that project podium at like funnel, or else you got either be a freak anomaly like athlete. Other than that,
you have to be a freak. I think that there's less resources maybe than that what me and Morgan had.
That's so funny. So like it's gone back in a sense.
Yeah, there's more, and there's more money going into the sport. You can argue that there's more money at the top, but there's less money going into development programs.
Yeah, it's becoming more exclusive.
It's becoming more, All
right, so ironically, my last race, it took me 2 years to finally accept the fact that I wasn't going to race. My last race was a DNF. Your last race was an Ironman DNF. Does that hold any weight on you? And do you have any regret going out with a did not finish? I'm guessing that's your first DNF in middle distance?
No, it's not. Okay. I've had a couple. They were rough. No, at least it's been 3 days.
Yeah. So
right now
you gave the 48-hour rule or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think so, dude. Ironman sucks. It's such a long race. Like, I don't know. I was getting bored on that bike after an hour. Like just knowing that I had 3 more hours. Look, Ironman is so hard. Like, I think the problem is it's not like I'm mentally weak enough. Just it's so hard to not like I got dropped after 2 guys, Brock Hole and Thomas Davis.
You were in a no man's land.
I was like, they're like 10 minutes behind. Like Joe Skipper's like, or Sam Long's like 8 minutes behind me or something. Maybe they're probably like less than that. They were maybe like 3. I was like, I'm going to ride the next 2 hours by myself. It's like coming from a short course where like things are happening and you like small decisions and like you're always in the moment.
That's
there.
So
I'm just like looking around. I'm like, man, this kind of sucks.
You were kind of in like 5th, and I saw you. There was like a minute gap between you and the front chase, the front pack, and then you had a chase group behind you. Yeah. And I'm like, that's in no man's land right now. He's either got to just catch the group, or he's just going to be cycling alone. That's so funny that you say that, because that's like the one thing I think about is it's not that racing feeling. You're not. And people will be like, oh, you just got to be in your own head. And like, yeah, I train all the time really hard by myself. But like, it's just, I want to race. I want to race against competition. Yeah. So so the format of Ironman you don't like. 70.3 is a totally different story. But do you have any like, because you're so performance driven and mindset, is there any like sadness where you're like, I went out with a DNF, or it's just another race and it happened?
Yeah. Again, dude, I think the pinnacle of like this sport for me was short course. Yeah. And I didn't realize that until like I went to an Ironman. I was like, there's all these people who train so hard. And I started coaching a bunch of people to Ironmans this year, which has been really fun and a good experience. And I'm just like, dude, the level of commitment and the hours and the training for an Ironman are so difficult. Like you have to make such a sacrifice. And for me, it's not that different. I just didn't enjoy being on the bike for 20 hours a week.
The difference between 70.3 training and Ironman training is just like extending the long ride, extending your threshold run a little bit more, and then your long run. It's not a crazy amount of difference. Do you think because did you ever go to 70.3 Worlds as a pro?
No.
Do you think if you would have raced that, it would have changed the experience? But it's far and few between those types of environments.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the injuries always prevented me from even having that like I already qualified for it, but I just
What was was maybe that Oceanside 2022? Do you think that was like the closest to like an ITU race that you can think of that you did, because the competition was pretty stellar that day? Or what, I guess what do you think like the hardest 70.3 in terms of competition was that you did?
Yeah, for sure that race.
Yeah, it was a good pull. I saw you on course that day. That's why I was
and like I think another thing that's like really hard about long course is like just the equipment alone.
It's everything, dude.
I did some aero testing briefly with a Ghibli, which is like that device that you go out in real world and like measure. I thought like I made all these gains, and then I was looking at photos and how much higher I am than everyone else. I'm like, dude, I'm losing like 20 watts still. Like I bet guys were riding 20 watts less than me, going the same speed. And yeah, that doesn't excite me either. Like just like nerding out, spending all this money and like resources to like get dialed in, and the time it takes to do that. It's just like goes back to like me being like a runner, you know, like I just love how simple it is to just like own a pair of running shoes, get on a plane and go to like a major marathon or a track race and have like 2 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, and then I guess, you know, not worrying about if your BTA bolt was down, and if it's loose, it could literally throw off. Like having one bolt loose could throw off your whole race.
You lose a bottle, you like dismount wrong, and you lose. I lost a bottle in like this last weekend.
Oh shit!
And I was dealing with a little bit of like I had like my synovitis, so like inflammation of the sinus. As soon as I got there, I woke up with it, and it's been 10 days now, so I'm getting over it. But like, dude, you cannot be off.
Yeah.
So I'm on my own, right? And my saddle broke too.
Oh man,
It just blew off.
You know how many times I've like gone like last year Indian Wells. Yeah, you start coming down from training and then you get sick and you're like, what? Like, really?
Yeah.
Thank God, like, you know, I wasn't doing it for a paycheck, but like just the timing and all of that. It's triathlon, dude.
Yeah,
that's literally triathlon in a nutshell.
And the hard thing with that too is like you race less with long course.
Yep.
You can race every weekend with short course in Europe. Like we used to go over to Europe every summer for like 8 to 10 weeks and just race every weekend.
Yeah, your hardest workout of that week is that race. And the rest of the time is just fucking zone 2, man.
You could totally race race yourself into shape.
Yeah. All right. Did the Glory Days podcast. All right. Last couple questions here. Okay. Full Ironman recovery called my decision. Okay. Yeah, I guess when did you officially know it was time to retire?
I knew it was time to retire about a month ago. And I like actually started like applying to jobs and seeing what I wanted to do.
You texted me and I immediately was like, no, this is what you should do. I'm trying to talk you off the ledge. Yeah. And you immediately were just like, dude, stop.
Yeah. My coach, my coach, Ben Rizal, coaches like, dude, the guy's insane. He's from Germany. He was just like, no, like we're going to do this and we're going to help you like with the finance. Like you're going to start getting on top of the podium again, like, and be consistent. And
go to Indian Wells, win Indian Wells.
Man, my hip, if I'm being honest, like my hip on so many of these runs after the injury have just been so tight and like borderline limping. And I'm about to go do an Ironman and then I get sick and like my saddle comes. I'm just like, you know what? Faith is super important to me. I felt like that God was telling me at the time, like, dude, you're really done.
Life doesn't need to be this hard.
You're really done. As soon as I got like my sinuses woke up and I was like, oh shoot, I'm inflamed. I was like, it was really hard for me to be positive all the time that week. I was just like this emotional roller coaster. I started telling more people that I was retiring because I knew.
People were telling me and I'm like, what the fuck is Matt doing?
Yeah.
People were like, do you know Matt's retiring? I'm like, oh, I guess he told you.
Yeah. And even like the day before the race, I had a conversation with one of my friends and I'm like, we were talking about like a job opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's like a day before Ironman, you're really talking about a job opportunity.
Yeah,
like,
but that's the universe. That's the universe.
The universe, to me, it's God, and that's super.
But that's
important.
what I mean. That's the universe telling you, like, dude, it's time.
Yeah, I mean, it was
once something's closed and the other thing's open.
I think it was very like there's a difference between things being really hard and you need to overcome them. I've done that in the sport with like, right? You could just use Olympic selection.
Yeah.
And I got back on the horse and I showed up. But this is like a clear, you got a stress fracture in your femur. You weren't healthy to go race an Ironman in your hip, and then like sick and saddle broke and like all these things compounded to the point where like, I'm like, yeah, it's time. I feel I'm ready for this. Like it feels right.
Well, that's good then. As long as you have no stress over it, like, or it's getting to you, or you left, like, did you feel like you left something on the table? And if you did, what's that thing?
No, I think I have a lot of regrets of things that I wish I would have done differently.
Yeah, but that's life.
That's life, right? And I'm gonna like, oh man, I learned a lot, and as I continue to coach, or whatever line of work I get into next, like I think I'm going to use some of those tools, but yeah, no, like I don't have anything on the table. Like going to Kona and doing that whole thing, it's just like sounds great, but it doesn't excite me.
You don't see yourself in 10 years getting
10?
Yeah, like
43.
Yeah, like if you go hit it at
no,
age.
that's the thing too. Is like I never like I'm in this for high performance. Like I want to be at the pinnacle. I want to be at the top of the sport. If I'm not at the top of the sport, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah,
I want to go do something else that I could be great at.
I gotta learn that, man, because I'm like, I feel like in 10 years I'm gonna be like, I want to go to Kona, and
like nothing against age grouper, dude. Like I competed. I was like I was like top 5 in the WTS ranking at one point.
Well, that's why people do it, is to compensate for something they missed out on. But you literally ate the whole meal. Like you had all 5 courses.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Weird analogy. Okay, last question. Now that you've had some time to reflect, which I imagine you've been reflecting for over a month, what are you most proud of from this entire journey in triathlon and in sport for that matter? What are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? Whew, that's a loaded question. It's funny because I sent you these questions. I didn't even, that's the best part. I had AI. Had AI. I went on DeepSeek. I was like, give me 11 questions. Give me a number of questions
you did.
That would work.
Yeah, there's a lot of M dashes. That's how you can tell it's AI.
Yeah. Say that question again.
Okay, what are you most proud of your sporting journey, if it's triathlon or cross-country related, running related? Have you ever ran a marathon, road race?
No.
That was a good question.
I think that like this is easy to say when you're done, but the relationships and the experiences I had meant more to me than the results. And so the process was really hard, and I'm proud that I like showed up every day and gave 100%. But the if I talk about like 70.3 podiums, 12 World Cup podiums, 2 silver medals, right? Like all these accomplishments mean nothing to me. What at the end of the day, what means a lot to me is like I got to travel the world for 8 years. I got to meet some great people. I just got to see the world, and I got to go through like I overcame some obstacles that I don't know I would have been able to handle unless they actually happened,
Yeah, so like that's funny. So if something, next time you reach life adversity, you can always reflect on how you overcame, because the hardest part of your life so far is probably that Olympic. So you'll always have that to reflect on.
I actually think this retirement's been harder on me. Yeah.
Wow.
I think the fact that like the last 3 days I've woken up with like, and this is fresh. So maybe in like 6 months I might say, no, the Olympic selection was way harder. It's probably because it's fresh. Olympic selection was hard, but the last 3 days have been pretty tough because imagine you wake up every day of your life from the time you were 12
with purpose.
Yeah. Not that I don't have a purpose. My purpose is still to be a great father and a great friend.
The same purpose.
The same purpose of like performance every day, training. When I took time off, I never really took time off. I was always cross training. I was always doing something active. When I got injured, I was still training. I was still swimming like 6K a day. Like, what is it to wake up and just not have to train, dude? That's to me the hardest part. And look, like I have some opportunities to go work right now that are great, and maybe there will be even more opportunities after I put this podcast out. But I'm not as worried about that. What I'm worried about is finding something that gives me that purpose where I can wake up and like have that same drive.
If it's your job or a project, or even just knowing you're providing for your family, like you just need that next thing to
something. Yeah. And I'm still very passionate about coaching, but I need something bigger than that.
Yeah.
I feel like something with a lot of a purpose.
I can relate, man. That's why I kind of was like, I'm doubling down on your left. And yeah, I think I'm still trying to find that purpose. So, but the thing I've noticed is you can't force it. Like,
absolutely not.
I've literally gotten into so many like side hobbies and just like lost interest in a week, but I'm just trying to find that next thing as well. And so I don't think you'll be alone in that, but I don't think forcing it either is the answer, but it will come. That's what at least Kara tells me and everything. Because I wasn't waking up every day about high performance, but shit, triathlon was a big identity for me as well. So
yeah. And I don't, okay, it's an identity for you. I really don't want it to be my identity in the sense of swim, bike, run. And my identity is more about being like super highly driven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, 100%.
Versus like, I need to go to the pool and do a set.
Yeah.
Or I need to go do a run.
That's all ego. And that's what was driving me.
And that, honestly, that's what probably was the big thing, is like your ego is driving you to continue to do the sport. Ego of me is like, dude, why would you end it right now? You had your last race that you finished. You were second to Sam Long. You beat Jason West. Why would you hang it up? You're only 33.
That's exactly.
But that's my ego telling me I need to like go get more 70.3 podiums in North America. That doesn't fill my cup. Like, dude, I've had 3.
Dude, that would
I'm
fill mine.
What do I need? 12? Like, that doesn't get me excited to go out and get 12 70.3 North American 70.3s. Yeah, like,
I'm not even kidding you. Somebody goes, why is Matt retiring? He just won a runoff with Jason West. Somebody legit said that to me, and the fact that you just referenced that.
And I'm sorry, like those guys who are going to dedicate their life to a 70.3 podium, like, I wish you the best of luck. And
yeah, to each their own.
And like, some of you guys will do it, and you'll feel an overwhelmingly, like, I've been there, and where you're like just so excited, so pumped, it means the world to you. None of my 70.3 podiums did I walk away going, wow, that was unreal. Versus ITU races, I was on the moon. I didn't even sleep after I got some of those performances. Yeah. Because I'm just so hyped up on adrenaline, right?
Yeah.
I walk away from a 70.3 podium. I'm like, well, rent's covered next month.
Yeah. Wow. No, I mean, that's I almost wonder what would it have took for you to feel that rush again. It would have been a Pro Series podium, 70.3 World Championships, top 5. I guess could you think of
it would have to be less about the race, but who was there and how we competed together.
Yeah. Which is funny that you say that, because that's what a lot of these guys say. Like, that's what Lionel says. He goes, I want to go race that because it's a hard field. Yeah. You know, like, fuck, what race was it? Oceanside. Like, Lionel races Oceanside because he says, he's like, it draws some of the best competition. You get a Lang there. You know, Jan used to go. It draws a deep field, and that's why, like, Hayden Wild DM'd me yesterday, and he was like, I want a piece of Lionel, like, as a joke. So I was doing all like the Lionel tribute stuff, and I'm like, bro, you got to come out and race Oceanside. And he's like, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, like, let's go, dude. That's awesome. I love it. Lionel's YouTube after that is going to be gold. Whatever happens. Yeah, whatever happens.
Absolutely. God, but that's what it seems like. A lot of these guys, especially in the middle distance, where you go to a 70.3, regional thing, and nothing's wrong with going to collect a paycheck, but I'm sure at some point it's like, dude, I need someone to fill my cup, push my envelope a little bit. Yeah,
and that's hard to do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
When
without traveling all over the world.
But when you have a family, that's hard, because
you could do it. You could go to Europe and race 3 European, but you'll be out of the house for a month and a half doing that. Like, it's
I'm gonna be away from home, and like, I don't know. I want to be there for my son, and right now it's so important, as you know, being a dad of 2.
Yeah, it's even my wife would, while I was training when the first was born, she'd be like, you're really missing out on 5 hours on the weekend, because you like to say, like, I'll get up early, get it done before they're up, and that might happen 1 or 2, but to do that consistently too, it's that's why these age groupers are insane in my opinion. Some of these guys are up at like 4:30 in the morning, get it in before work.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
power
whoa.
gym. They're
Like,
almost
wow.
gnarlier than pros.
Yeah,
like age groupers are more.
Dude, this guy was telling me the other day, he's like,
driven than
he goes,
pros.
I go 4:30 to 6. Wife goes 6 to 7:30 every morning on the bike before the kids are up. And I'm looking at him like, I'm a piece of shit. Like, I don't do that. I've never gotten up before like 5:30.
That doesn't like triathlon doesn't excite you that much.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like your ego is not like, oh, I need to be up early, just getting after it.
No.
Goggins, baby.
Yeah, David is an idiot for getting up that early. Sleep. That's the biggest biohack. Do you want to run through your?
I kind of want to run through the names.
Yeah. Hey, this was fun. 83 minutes. Probably get cut down to 75. But,
I think we should run through names real quick. Some of these that are important. Barrett Brandon, Kevin Collington. Thanks for getting me into the sport. Coming up to Flagstaff doing a camp. Eric Hines, NAU coach. Paulo Sousa, first real triathlon coach. Joe, Greg, Eric, love you guys. Trevor, Heather being there from the beginning with Chris Ganter, Manny Huerta, Will Huffman, Jack St. Marie, being my pacer for those years in Poway. Ian O'Brien, one of my favorite coaches. Eli for pushing me, even though we butt heads. It taught me a lot more than I thought. Morgan Pearson, Richard Murray, dude. Richard Murray answering my DM on Facebook when I was in college. Yeah. I go, how long did it take you to learn how to swim at a WTS level? He goes, 4 years. And I'm like, I'm all in. I'm all in, dude. Just from a DM.
Dude, if you have that DM, like I'm sure if you pull up that conversation, you should screen grab it.
I think I looked. I can't find it. Oh, fuck. Varga, dude. All the guys on the ITU circuit that I got along with. Ryan Sissons trained with him. Greg Barnaby trained with him. Spivey, Summer, Claire Michelle, Chelsea Sodaro. Kevin, is still racing. It's fun being on the national team with him. Rory Linkletter. This is my crew in Flagstaff. Rory Linkletter, Desi Prescott, all the NAU boys, Tyler Day. I was also doing a lot of stuff with like Hoka NAZ Elite, Sajena, Andy Churard, Mike Arshita, Joel Lemons, Paul Brinkman, dude, the legend. Bus. Love you, dude. Everyone at the Pay and Take ride. Yeah, I want to thank you, my friends, Nate Shaw, my mom, dad, sister, my wife, Lindsay. Lindsay is amazing. She went out to she goes out to a lot of my workouts to get content or just be there. Sometimes she's checking lactate, whatever it is. Gosh. So dedication to my wife, my managers over the years, Sean Frack, Gurmo, Josh Vernon, current coach Ben. And if I missed anyone else, dude, I apologize.
Trevor Tipton.
Trevor Tipton for keeping me healthy this last block. Dude, there's so many people, Nick, Chase, here in St. George, you,
Talbot, Kyle,
the kitchen group. Dude, I could go on. Like, this doesn't need to be a yearbook, but a lot of these people I named had a huge impact on me. Sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad, and I just learned from a bad relationship.
Yeah, I mean that's more than I would say for those bad interactions I've had with people. Probably just not talk about it.
Sometimes bad relationships are like you didn't get along with them then at that time in your life. Yeah. Like actually built more character and like helped you deal with people in the future that like you didn't align with.
100%. I could totally relate to that. Yeah. Dude, I'm debating if I should put that song Linger behind these reels. I got a lot of ideas for these reels, but I'll send you all the raw stuff.
I just want to say thank you too for giving me the platform to do this.
Yeah.
Whether this goes on your left or it goes on mine or whatever.
The full episode should go on the YouTube for sure in audio, so people can listen to it, because tons of people are saying they want to be able to listen to the episode solely, but all the clips and everything on yours, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see it on my Instagram reel.
Anything else?
No.
So 2013 is when it started.
Like triathlon?
Like going all in on triathlon.
2015.
10-year career.
Yeah. 2025. 10 years. Professionally, but I would say, I've been doing threshold since I was 15.
Dude, what I was doing at 15 was not anything high performance. If anything, I was just shooting at a lacrosse goal with no goalie. That's about it. Oh, man. All right. Well, thanks for wanting to come on to the On Your Left platform, get it out. So we're recording this a week before it dishes out, but Matt will be throwing reels on his social media. So
yeah, cool, man. Right. Thanks.
Yeah.